Thank you.
Right.
Are you suggesting that someone's trying to make a real-life sequel?
Stab 2? Who'd want to do that? Sequels suck.
Two in the box!
Ready to go.
We be fast and
They be slow.
Wow. A second Super Saiyan? Second in order, perhaps, but by no means in stature. Your fight is with me now.
I'll have my revenge, and Deathstalker too.
Man, I can't fucking believe this. Another basement, another elevator. How could the same shit happen to the same guy twice?
Oh, please. By definition alone, they're inferior films.
What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another sad episode of Inside the Sequel. It's sad because you're tuning into this and we're still keeping going with this, this podcast. It's not been canceled. It's not been thrown the wayside yet, but that's a good thing because today I'm really excited for today's episode. We are talking about Scary Movie 2 from 2001.
Somewhere in this house, a secret is buried. But some secrets are better left unknown.
I think she's starting to suspect something.
Who?
Your wife.
More shameless, more merciless. Scary Movie 2.
Oh, Ray, what are you doing here?
It's the sequel.
Oh, yeah.
Duh.
And if you're unfamiliar with this channel, this podcast, we talk about sequel movies that don't get enough love or attention. And I feel like today might be one of those where I feel like this one does get a lot of love and attention from what I see on the internet, at least. The best place to find opinions, of course. With Scary Movie 2 from 2001. It's a spoof satire comedy film from the Wayans brothers. And for today's episode, it was requested by the guest himself who makes his return. It's been far too long. It's totally my fault. But we have Noah Klein, a.k.a. best Twitter name in Shrek Squirt. Noah, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How's it going?
It's going well, man. I'm so glad we could finally get you back on here again.
Yeah, I know. Ever since Gremlins 2, I've been dying to get back on here and talk about something,
Yeah. What if you didn't I feel like it was maybe oh, we did Gremlins 2 and you heard about a cum sock and you were like, you know what, let me take about a 6 months hiatus from this.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that up again.
I feel like that whole conversation embodies just a whole, this whole podcast in general. I feel like nothing has been the same since that joke, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, and this movie's comedy kind of fits that too.
It's so true. But no, I'm so glad to have you back on, man. You've been a follower, just a long-time follower in general, just with the podcast and with even the YouTube channel that's non-existent at this point. You're one of the OGs in my opinion. So I really appreciate you giving me a chance to come back on here.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for having me. It's been a blast. I know this time will be too.
Yeah, you don't tweet a lot. You like a lot of tweets, but you don't tweet a lot. How are we supposed to fucking know what you're into and what you've been up to?
I guess following me on Letterboxd is probably the best because that's the one I interact with the most, I guess. And I think my name is the same thing on there.
Oh, it is.
But, okay, I was gonna say I think it is. I think I tried to keep it all in the same line. But
yeah, a year on Letterboxd. Did you know that Letterboxd is basically becoming the new Tinder? Have you heard about this?
No, I did not.
Apparently, people are going on Letterboxd, giving 5-star reviews to movies to match with people in the hopes of getting laid. And I feel like if you're a film fan, getting laid and talking about film aren't mutually exclusive things.
Yeah, I was gonna say those don't align too much.
I mean, I remember talking to a female the one time in my life, and she asked me what I like to do, and I said I like to watch movies, and she was like, "Oh, that's cool," and then she walked away, and I've never spoken to a girl ever again since that.
Oh, geez, that's heartbreaking.
Well, yeah, that's really mean because obviously I talked to Lindsay and Carmelita and Steph and other great women, but no. I have never recovered financially and emotionally since that interaction.
That reminds me, one time I was talking to a girl and I told her like I like listening to film scores, and she had no idea what I was talking about. And I was like, oh, okay, this probably won't work out.
I mean, she was probably overwhelmed. You weren't even offering to like take her out to dinner. You were trying to put the ring on her finger by saying something like that.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I probably scared her.
Yeah, when you tell a girl about, and you should be listening to this podcast for female advice. You don't tell them you like listen to film scores, because that's pretty cool, because I do too. But you have to like let them catch you in the act of doing it, and then you can be like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. You caught me listening to the score of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. I'm so embarrassed." That's how you get the girl.
I
see.
See.
I haven't tried it myself though, but I do have that record.
I could have tried that. I have a few on vinyl.
Yeah, but it was Daniel from Cobwebs who was telling me about how like these two people on Letterboxd linked up because they both gave 5-star reviews of some random movie. I can't remember, and they're dating now, and it's like a big thing on film Twitter. And that kind of got on my mind. I was like, holy crap, Letterboxd is like undiscovered territory for dating, it turns out now. So like when people see that I gave a 5-star review to a random sequel, I feel like that's like my calling card. You know, it's like, hey ladies, like check me out here. I gave RoboCop 3 a 5-star. Let's line them up. Let's go.
Well, if you find another girl that likes RoboCop that much too, or RoboCop 3 that much also, I think you might have something going for you.
Or is that more suspect? That's the bigger thing. Like, there can't be.
Yeah. Maybe she saw your 5 stars first and then was like, oh, I got to do the same thing because I want him to notice me.
Yeah, I'm very curious if there's like a subreddit for like inside the sequel, and it's like, hey, you know, Chris, what do you think he looks like? Like, he sounds kind of, you know, maybe he sounds kind of cool. I don't know. It'd be crazy if like we saw how he looked, you know? Like, I'm curious if there's a subreddit for that.
Well, I would imagine your YouTube channel would be in there a little bit.
Oh, I'm like, if there's anyone say that again.
They just know the podcast side of you.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, if there's anybody that hates my YouTube channel more than other people on the internet, it's me. So, you know, they're watching my YouTube channel. I probably am not interested at all. It really speaks to your character if you are interested in me in any sort of way. If you like the YouTube channel.
Hey, I got me on the podcast.
That's true. So, but all right, Noah. So, speaking of Letterboxd, what have you been like watching lately? What kind of films have been like, you know, Noah's calling?
So, lately it's been a lot of rewatching because I met a girl a couple months ago. And, she's really into movies. One of the first things I asked her what her favorite movie, she told me she gave me 3. She told me Grease, Princess and the Frog, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hot.
So I was like, okay. And so I've just been showing her, you know, movies that she hasn't seen that I have. Like, I'm a big Marvel fan, so we watched all those, and she really loved those. What's another big one? Right now we're doing Tarantino. We're taking turns picking series. So she wanted to do Conjuring. So we watched Conjuring after Marvel. I wasn't the big.
You are a brave man.
Yeah, it wasn't the greatest, but she had fun. So that's all.
She's listening right now too, so like make sure you know you're. I'm just kidding.
Oh, yeah, she's probably punching the screen right now.
I'm surprised she still dated you after you went through the Marvel movies. I thought that stuff's for kids, isn't it? And like you're watching it as adults now. Like, I'm surprised you guys haven't grown up yet.
Yeah,
you loser. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, for real though. I don't know when I'm gonna grow up. All I eat is cereal and Pop-Tarts, and I watch Marvel movies and play video games.
That's like such an envious life. Don't feel bad about that. That's awesome. My favorite thing is to pretend to hate the MCU. I always like to like pretend like I stick my nose at it. Like, you're still watching MCU movies, loser? You probably still buy physical media too, right?
Oh shoot, dude, I have too much physical media.
Yeah.
I recently I'm at over like 600.
Wow. Whoa. That's just throwing numbers out like that. No, I tell Nathan Jones often, the correlation of the amount of Blu-rays you own with the less amount of female interaction is like insane. Like it's almost too sad to process. It's like you buy more movies, you're not talking to women. This is a really good dating episode, actually. I'm starting to realize it. Don't buy physical media. Don't watch movies. Play sports and go on TikTok. That's what you need to do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're buying movies, you really can't afford, dinner.
You're right. I consume film. It satisfies my needs.
Yeah, you can pick up a girl and she wants you to go to, Olive Garden or something. You're like, sorry, I just spent $100 on the Criterion sale. I can't do it.
Noah, what films did you buy from the Criterion sale? I know you put your grubby little hands on those.
I wish I went and bought a lot more, but I only bought Memories of Murder. That was the only one I bought.
The Jong Bong-woo film.
Mm-hmm.
Your girlfriend must have been with you. You really wanted to look cool. Just kidding.
I did show her Parasite. That was one of the movies that she hasn't seen yet until we started dating. She really liked that. So Memories of Murder was going to be on the list soon.
Nice.
Right now, Tarantino. We're watching all of Tarantino's movies.
Nice. Are you gonna like do that thing where you're gonna fit in Natural Born Killers because he technically wrote it, but I forget what's his name directs it and took it instead, and now he disowns it.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do that one towards the end of because I'm doing them in release order.
Oh, cool.
But he also wrote True Romance, so I'm gonna put that in there too.
I love a Tony Scott classic. Nice.
Yeah, and that movie just came out on 4K recently.
Yeah, it did. From Arrow, the best boutique label out there.
Yeah, so I'm excited to watch that one with her because I haven't seen that one in a while, and when I did watch it, I really loved it. So.
Yeah, we're the same in that way. I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember really loving it.
Well, the Blu-ray was super expensive too for a while.
Yeah, I bought it twice on Blu-ray and sold it like the good scalper that I am, unfortunately. Now I have the bummy Blu-ray.
Well, there you go.
Would it be weird if like she gets, or I shouldn't say she because I don't want to talk about your relationship, but isn't it weird if like you're with someone of the opposite sex and Natural Born Killers is on TV and there's like an odd like sensuality happening in the vibe? Should you be concerned, or is that like a green light?
I feel like whatever my answer is going to be wrong. So it's probably an in the moment type of thing.
Yeah, so it's like the flashbacks to Juliette Lewis's childhood. If like she starts rubbing my leg there, that I know that she's gonna ruin my life, but it might be some of the best interactions with a woman I will ever have.
Yeah, we're gonna have to test that theory separately.
Separately, yeah, okay. I run a podcast about sequel movies and I talk about my life. Do you think there's women that are knocking on this door, Noah? That's bold of you to assume. Oh, wow. We're really giving people all like the best ways to like attract women and contain a healthy relationship. Yeah,
you should start charging for this podcast because we're giving valuable information.
Honestly, yeah, this is some of the stuff they can take away. It's like what Daniel says, it's 2 lies and a truth. I'll let you figure out which one's which. But so Noah, you're back again. We talked about Gremlins 2 and I had so much fun talking about that. And you gave reason to why you liked Gremlins 2 a lot. But I asked you because I've been wanting to get your ass on here for a while. I was like, give me a sequel that you like. And I was so happy you chose this one because I feel like I've been stunted by talking about horror movies, but at least we got some comedy in here.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good like comedy sequels either. Like it's pretty hard to find one.
It's pretty hard to find just a good comedy in my opinion, right?
yeah, I'd agree with that too, actually. Yeah, it's even rare if it's a sequel.
Yeah. So tell me about like what those scary movies like mean to you, because like there's like what 6 of them at this point now, and there's like so many like spoofs and like movies that try to ride the wave of that. I'm just curious, like where was Noah when like Scary Movie 1 and 2 were coming out?
Well, let's see. So Scary Movie 1 came out in 2000. So I was just a year old.
Wow.
So yeah, so I caught a lot of these on TV just growing up, like 8, 9, 10 years old. And see, like I just watched Scream for the first time last year. So like everything on Scream, I was like, oh, Scary, that's from Scary Movie.
Oh my God, the blasphemy. I love it.
So it's a little backwards. And same thing with Scary Movie too. I mean, just some of the stuff like the Exorcist stuff all at the beginning of 2. Now I'm kind of catching and all that. But yeah, growing up, I thought it was the funniest stuff. Just because my humor stayed the same.
I think we have that in common, Guy.
Yeah,
I will, but no, what you said, like the scary movies being on TV, totally relate to that. Those things were on constantly.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what channel they were on. Probably Comedy Central.
Comedy Central, Spike TV, FX, and yeah, I don't know. I think that's probably the Sci-Fi Channel for some reason. Is that still a channel? I don't know.
Yeah, that's where that new Chucky show is going to be on.
Oh, so it is a show. You see, Dana and I were talking about that, and I was so confused because they just did, I guess, Child's Play, the remake, like 2 years ago, and now they're doing a TV show. How's that going to work?
It's like a whole brand new thing, like a reboot. I'm pretty sure. The trailer just came out.
Is that why I keep seeing memes of like the Good Boys like box in like people's houses?
I think so.
There's like a meme.
Yeah, that's probably where you're getting that from. But
yeah. You fuck with the Chucky movies?
It used to scare the living shit out of me when I was a kid. Like, that was probably my worst nightmare. And now they don't scare me, but I haven't gone back and watched all of them. I saw the newest one that came out a couple years ago. Thought it was okay, but I really want to see those. The thing is, my girlfriend is like deathly afraid of it still.
Oh, dude, you got to get her to watch at least the first 2, and then she can listen to my episode with Mitch Oliver when we talk about Child's Play 2, and then she'll be hooked to Inside the Sequel.
Yeah, and that's a good. Not even hearing my own voice.
Yeah, then we'll get stronger and stronger in our following. Yes, this is the way.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan. But
I'm with you though. We're the same, I swear.
It seems like it the more we talk.
Because like Chucky scared me so much. I remember seeing the fucking doll in like a Spencer's, and not only was it the dildos and sex toys in the Spencer's that scared me as a kid, but it was also like the Chucky doll right there.
Yeah, I have like a very like I still remember it when I don't know how old I was. It had to have been like 7 or 8. And walking, and it was in the way back of the Spencer's too. I don't even know how I got that far back there, but I saw that Chucky doll back there, and it was big. It was a big one. I remember screaming and running like 40-yard dash out of that store.
Yeah, and it talked and everything too.
Yeah, that was even worse.
Yeah. And then like, did you run into like the ball and gags like on the way out too, or was that just me?
That was just you.
Oh yeah. That's why, like, whenever I hear the word kinky, I get a little scared because it's like that one trip when I was a kid into Spencer's. It's just, I saw so many things at too young, and now when anybody like tries touching me, I get scared. I'm like afraid they're gonna shove a dildo at me or something. It's freaky because that's normal, right?
Sure. I'll say yes.
But yeah, Spencer's was wild for that with those Chucky dolls. But like, if you watch the original movies, like Chucky's big as fuck. Like, I know he's a doll, but he's pretty big.
Yeah, it's not like one of those. I don't even know what brand they are, but it's not Barbie, but it's those little baby dolls that you carry as a kid, like girls would.
Oh,
it's not even like that size. It's like bigger than that. It's like the size of the toddler.
Yeah. It's like, what if like you accidentally like grab the doll instead of the baby?
Oh shit.
So Scary Movie 1, yeah, it came out in 2000. Scary Movie 2 came out literally a year after. And we were talking about that before we recorded, how crazy that turnaround is.
Yeah. Usually, I mean, I guess I don't know how successful the first one was, but had to have done something for them to make a sequel that fast.
Well, yeah, I know the first one did really well, and the first movie just spoofs Scream, which I guess you only saw recently, so now you know that
Yeah.
that Scary Movie one literally like almost scene by scene spoofs Scream, and it's such juvenile toilet humor that ages badly, and I still laugh at it.
Yeah, I'm in the same exact boat. Watching like even the second one, I'm like, these aren't the greatest jokes, but
some of them still hold up though.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But yeah, so the first one made a lot of money. Like it was like a low budget. The Wayans brothers, this comedy duo, they directed and written these movies, and they starred in them too. And they have Anna Faris before she's with Chris Pine, or Chris, Chris Pratt. And yeah, the movies just turned out really well on a low budget. So the studio was like, oh my God, this is a gold mine, So they made the Wayans brothers turn around and quickly make the second movie. And it's a lot different than the first, because the first one just follows Scream the entire time. And then this one, it jumbles up so many different movies, but of the same genre. So it's more of like haunted house, haunting movies. Because like you said, it has like The Exorcist, it has Poltergeist, it has House on Haunted Hill, Hell House. I think there's a Hannibal Lecter reference in the movie as well too, while also maintaining some of the aspects of Scream 2, because a lot of the characters in the first movie come back and they're in college now, which is exactly how Scream 2 starts. And I do know that the Wayans brothers were really disappointed with this movie, even though most of the internet and the money speaks for itself. That I guess what you could say, money talks. Cue like the Pornhub song right there. It made a lot of money, and it's technically the most financially successful of all of them. But the Wayans brothers did not like it because they felt so rushed with their comedy, which kind of makes sense for this movie.
Yeah, I didn't know that they were disappointed with it, and I didn't know that they were directing them too. That's something I saw at the way end of the movie. Yeah, that kind of surprised me. But
yeah. I like their characters though. Their characters are the funny. I know Anna Faris is the star of the movie, but the Wayans brothers crack me up a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. They're definitely the stars of it, in my opinion.
Yeah, like how well versed are you in these like these satire spoof comedy movies? Because they feel like a modern, like I don't like Monty Python because that's, I don't know, like their humor is like it's Monty Python. The Wayans brothers is kind of like a modern day Monty Python, minus the whole trope, because it's only the two of them. But their comedy is always like done together. It's a Wayans brothers comedy. They really kickstarted this whole genre of satire movies for the rest of the decade. And it was a duo. I don't know. I can't help but feel like they need to be given a lot of credit for that.
Oh, for sure. Especially when like. This is another like series I watched on TV a lot when I was younger. Was like Epic Movie and Teen Movie and I feel like there's one more.
Movie 43 or something.
Oh yeah, there's that one. There's
not another teen movie.
Yeah, there's that superhero one with Drake Bell.
You remember that? Yeah. Remember Stan Helsing?
Yeah, that too. Holy crap.
Like Vampires Suck. The Haunted House movies they did.
Yeah.
God, there was so many like spoof movies that in the 2000s. It's disgusting.
Yeah. What's the most recent one we've gotten? Was it that Haunted House one with the
with the Wayans? And it had to have been, because they did things like Disaster. Oh no, like there was Epic Movie. Meet the Spartans was another one that felt like it was pretty late in the 2010, early in the 2010s. Yeah.
Jeez, yeah, there was a lot of them at that time. That was kind of like how video games had battle royales, like flood the scene a few years ago. It was just all these spoof movies.
Oh my God, yeah. Comedies in like the 2000s, like they were like a lot of them were misses and some were really hits, but you had things that were really funny because like you got things like like National Lampoons was so big in the 2000s because like it had like Van Wilder, the American Pie stuff, and then you get things like these spoof movies that are coming out and like everyone's making those, and then you get like comedy, like comics, like in movies at that point. So you get like, you know, Dave Chappelle and like old SNL people, you know, in their movies. And then hate to name drop, but like Todd Phillips starts to come through with like his vacation movies, you know. And then you get the Hangover movies too that start to come out at the end. And like Super Troopers, you know.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I forgot about Super Troopers. Yeah, I mean nowadays it's like there aren't really a lot of spoof movies, and you get like a lot of comedy like sequels to stuff that came out years ago, like Super Troopers 2 or Dumb and Dumber 2. Trying to think of some more off the top, but yeah, the spoof movies have kind of gone away for a while.
Yeah, I don't know why that is, honestly. Like, there were a lot of them. I remember watching Stan Helsing, which is a parody of like the iconic horror monsters in a way, with the Van Helsing character, you know, being like the guy to try and kill him. It's a terrible, terrible movie. It's funny. It's terrible. But then you get like the superhero movie, you know, and I remember watching that. I didn't remember watching Meet the Spartans, but like, or instead of like Forgetting Sarah Marshall and the 40-year-old virgin, they did like that one that combined it all three, like the 41-year-old virgin who's trying to forget Sarah Marshall while also being super bad. You know that movie?
Yeah, I remember that. I remember seeing that in Family Video.
Yeah, shout out Family Video.
No, rest in peace, Family Video.
Really, rip. Seriously, big ups. Shout them out. I just feel like they were just getting so over the top. And I felt like, I mean, how much comedy is in like spoof movies, you know? And maybe it's like also like the butt hurt culture was like, and I'm not talking about cancer culture. I'm talking about like the fat horror schlubs who are like, I love these movies so much. I don't like the movie you made fun of, you know, like not having a sense of humor for things they like.
Yeah. Oh my God. Imagine like nowadays if they just spoof Marvel, you know, like the whole MCU or something, or
yeah, it's like fandoms are the worst. They are just so, fandoms are just so, at times they can be really great communities, but they're so toxic. You know, they get lost in the sauce in a way. Yeah,
I agree. That's how Star Wars just kind of went.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, you can't like make fun of things, even if it's like, you know, like, I mean, I'm not talking about cancel culture or anything like that. I'm talking about like genuine like interpretations of like a super popular thing and cashing in on the comedy of it, you know? Because like I mean, some parts of Marvel are funny because they're funny, the well-written films, but like, you know, making fun of some of we make memes. Like I feel like the satire movies have been replaced with memes. Meme trends are from a good amount of anywhere from a week to 4 months, you know, like a template from a popular movie or scene.
That's a good point. Because I mean, a lot of these spoof movies, they like the humor itself doesn't age the greatest.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like even in the beginning of this movie, I was like, you see Andy Richter saying the N-word, and you're like, oh shit.
Yeah. Okay. So you caught that too. I was like, oh boy, and he's on Conan now.
Yeah. I was pretty surprised by that. But I mean, it's just crazy how comedy's changed and everything. And you're right about that meme stuff. That's a good point.
Oh yeah, I totally stand memes. So I'm like a meme lord. But yeah, so it's like Scary Movie 2 we talk about. It takes place a year. It was written a year after the first movie, and the story itself takes place a year after. It has Anna Faris, the Wayans brothers, and everyone else, including new characters. Like you get the Francis from not Boy Meets World, but Malcolm in the Middle. Yeah. James Woods is in this movie. Who else am I forgetting that it's pretty big? The guy from
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, and isn't it the guy from Schitt's Creek in it? Like the guy whose last name is actually Shit. He plays the crypt or like the innkeeper with a messed up hand.
Yeah, I don't know his name.
Yeah, he's in this. Like these Wayans brothers, and mostly the Wayans brothers spoof satire movies, not any of the other ones. They always did a good job of bringing in the talent, like actors who are really coming into their own, or like well-known comedy actors for small bits and pieces of them, you know?
Even like David Cross in this one. He's David like hilarious in the wheelchair.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Great.
And like I said, I think this one's the best, and I think most people say is the best of the scary movies, because I just like the story of like the characters being inside a haunted house, and like different haunted movies are being spoofed throughout the entire movie, especially the beginning. It is a complete ripoff of The Exorcist. I think it's hilarious. I think James Woods pisses me off because I think he's super funny and he does really good in the movies he's in, but I cannot stand him outside of a TV screen, you know? Like on Twitter, he's like, I'm like, why are you this person? Why? You know?
I haven't even seen his Twitter. I'm gonna have to look that up.
he is a loud and proud boy. Let me just say this. But he is so freaking funny in the opening of this movie, though. Like he is hilarious.
Yeah, he's great, and I was very surprised to see him in it. I didn't remember that he was in it until today.
No, I mean, and just like this movie has maybe too many like puke and pee and poop jokes, though, is my problem.
Yeah, and come and shit and all that.
But I feel like because they're ghost movies, and a lot of these ghost movies had, like, you know, Exorcist had so many bodily, you know, mishaps throughout the movie, and you know, and the house that dripped blood, and like Hannibal Lecter's in this movie. You know, there's so many ways you can angle that to make it funny. But all the jokes run up to being like fart jokes and puke jokes, a puke off, an insanely long pee session.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that there wasn't more puke scenes in it, especially that dinner scene with the butler.
Oh, yeah, where he starts having sex with the turkey. That's awesome.
Oh man, jeez, that's like the one scene that sticks out to me the most. Whenever I think of Scary Movie 2, I think of that whole dinner table scene.
Yeah, it's because he's like, oh, the dinner's not ready, and he's like fingering the mashed potatoes, and he's with that little deformed hand he has. Oh my God.
Him dipping his hand in the pie, the only thing he didn't cook. It's so gross.
Yeah, and then you get like the parrot talking smack throughout the whole movie. The parrot might have taken the cake as one of the like most underrated parts of the whole movie.
Oh, for sure.
Like the way he just talks to like the girls and like the Wayans brothers is just hilarious. And I also love the Wayans brothers still stay so dedicated to the character. Like one of them's the big stoner the entire movie, and then the other one being like this questioning his homosexuality athlete, you know?
Yeah. They don't go through any character changes, but they stay the same. For the better. For the better, though.
Right. And like there's like the scene with the stoner where it kind of embodies like Little Shop of Horror, where it starts rolling him into a blunt and starts smoking him.
Yeah. To figure out, I was like, what is this like scene referencing? But yeah, Little Shop of Horrors is probably it. I was trying to think.
These oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say every room kind of had its own little movie moment from something else.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like this is why the scary movies kind of lasted longer than all the other spoof movies, is they continuously change the formula of like each of the movies has like, it's at its core, it's trying to spoof one specific movie. And then small sprinkled references for its time, which if you do that, it's not going to age well. But if you know those movies, you like those movies, to me, that comedy works pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. And then ever since 2, they kind of kept that same formula where it's, you know, the core is one movie and then there's like 50 more movies referenced or whatever. Because, I mean, the third one was all about alien invasion, right? Or like the aliens and like Signs.
Yeah, Signs was, I think, the third one. Yeah. And then in the fourth one, it's like a Saw movie, I think.
Yeah, it was like that, or in War of the Worlds, or
War of the Worlds. That's the one. Yeah, the opening is Saw. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
With Shaq and Dr. Phil.
And he cuts the wrong foot off.
I also remember in that one, Charlie Sheen beating his penis up with a water bottle because the cat it's on. Yeah.
It's like the opening credits. Like I forget. It's like in his ball sack or something.
Oh, dude, I want to hear about ball sacks after watching the first Scary Movie again with the man dressed up as the female gym teacher. Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what I'm saying. Like the juvenile toilet humor that these movies have, like they're pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. They're like such They're the epitome of like late night movie watching. Like I would never like want to watch this at like 8 p.m. with a bunch of friends, but like if it's like midnight and we're getting kind of drunk and we're ordering a pizza, we need something to fall asleep to and have a good time. It's like the scary movies for sure, you know?
Yeah, it's like the Adult Swim of movies.
That's such a good way to put it. Yeah, it is like the Adult Swim. Crap. How many of the scary movies have you watched though? Have you watched all 5 or 6 of them, or did you stop after? Because I stopped after 4.
Yeah, I did too. 4 is where I cut it off. I don't even know what 5's about.
I kind of wish they kept going with it like Fast and Furious, you know? Like I wish they like kept up with that franchise for their spoofs.
Yeah, I mean, there is so much stuff nowadays to make fun of, like the MCU, or I'd love to see one that's like A24 related.
Oh my God, yeah, that would be so good.
But yeah, there's a lot to mess around with, but you know, I guess there's always time to come back.
Yeah, I don't know. The Wayans brothers kind of like, they haven't fallen off, but they kind of like, they got their money, they got their fame, and they're kind of, that's it, you know? And it's not like they just got famous with the scary movies, because like they did like White Chicks, they did the haunted house movies in the 2010s, you know, like they kind of have been on and off, but like, you know, when they're doing stuff, I mean, it draws people in.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having another one come up by them.
Yeah, it's kind of, they're like this weird anomaly for me in like the 2000s of like comedy genre, where I don't think they get enough respect. I also feel like they kind of, it might be bold to say, but I feel like they kind of really push the whole the movement for like comedies with like rappers and like celebrities. You know, the Wayans brothers themselves weren't super big, like they weren't like household names, but I feel like they kind of gave way to like when Eddie Murphy in the 2000s was coming out with his movies, and like Ice Cube and Chris Tucker, you know?
Yeah.
And like I felt like they kind of paved the way for that in a way.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that, especially with like the 4th movie, and I know the 5th movie has like, I mean, everyone on the front cover is like, you know, some sort of like celebrity that's not generally an actor.
Yeah, they feel like like most of the ensemble cast for these scary movies, they feel like they're like the people who are going to go on the Comedy Central roast of Justin Bieber or something like that.
Yeah.
Like all these
referencing people too. You know, they're referencing the movies and just people that are popular at the time.
Mm-hmm. They're just like they're just like really funny because like they're so self-aware, and I think that just like what's really good about these, at least in Scary Movie 2, I think it kind of takes the cake of having some stableness to the story and the acting and the spoofs, you know. I feel like once the 3rd one came out, they just knew we just got to make fart jokes and we got to like make fun of every movie that released this calendar year, you know?
Yeah. They kind of felt like SNL sketches that they just like stitched together to make a movie.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
But, yeah.
Yeah.
The first are the golden ones for sure.
Yeah. The first 3, I would say you'd be pretty good with right there is the first 3 for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really was glad you put me on to watch these scary movies again. They were on HBO Max, which is great. And I did kind of watch them coincidentally at night for each of them. I think Scary Movie 2 I had a little bit more fun with because I like Scream a lot. But for them to spoof in the first movie, it felt too formulaic. Like they were too on the nose with scene by scenes of that movie with the Scary Movie. But I think that's also part of the reason why Ghostface is so iconic, not only because Scream is so good, but I feel like Ghostface was kind of like an icon for the scary movies for a long time. Obviously with his doing like his "What's up," you know, and like,
that's the first thing I think of when I see like Ghostface, which is funny. But it's like that whole scene on the phone. Like that's like the first thing that pops up in my head.
Just chilling, watching the game. This movie, you don't get that as much. This movie, it really does focus on like we have a bunch of these iconic movies. Let's base a story around bringing these movies together and having jokes with it, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that works the best because you get Like in one point, I'm feeling like, oh, I'm in the movie of the haunted house. Oh, now I feel like I'm watching The Exorcist, and then oh, this is like Poltergeist right now. You know, it's kind of nice to kind of, it feels like a roller coaster of like going through and seeing these different sites to the finish line.
Yeah, it feels like they like wrote the whole movie to be just a movie without the references, and then we're like, okay, what in this scene that we already wrote, what movie could we fit into here? And because it flows pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so too. And I always love how iconic the scary movie openers are. Like every scary movie, it rides or dies by the opening scenes for the movie before they show the title card,
Yeah, because I haven't seen the first one in a little while. What's the opening for that one?
Oh, it's the exact same opening to Scream 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was going to say, because the Exorcist one and this one didn't really have anything to do with the movie after it.
No.
Yeah.
It's because the Wayans brothers are film guys,
Yeah. Yeah.
They appreciate the art. I like how they like, run, bitch, run. Like they just like, I feel like a lot of like these, like they also like put to test like the complaints that a lot of people have about the tropes in horror movies. They kind of bring them into fruition, Yeah,
they shed a light on it. Yeah, they're like you said earlier, they kind of are just memeing like all these movies.
I should do a spoof movie.
What would it be about? What would you spoof specifically?
100% the Joker, Taxi Driver, and
I think
Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. Wow. I thought you were going to say Uncut Gems.
Oh God, I want to have a good time when I'm doing it, Although if I did a spoof of Uncut Gems, it'd probably be better than the finished product.
Okay, now.
There's nothing that gives me more groans than seeing that Criterion is putting out the A24 of Uncut Gems.
I was so happy to see that.
It was like the triumvirate of like the end of my existence.
I was wondering what your opinion was on that when it happened.
I unfortunately did buy 2 movies during the last day of the Criterion sale, but once I saw the Uncut Gems thing, I think that is the end of our business relationship, Criterion and I.
Oh man, that makes me want to buy more of them. That makes me want to spend the actual $40 on Uncut Gems.
Oh my God. Yeah, don't even wait for the sale; just buy it outright.
Yeah, the good thing is it comes out like a month before the next sale. So.
Oh, well, I have just like the standard Blu-ray that has the exact same cover as the Criterion release. So I'll put it in I could put it in a clear box for you if you want.
And then it changes everything. They make it a $40 Blu-ray now.
Oh, jeez. Oh, don't even bring up Uncut Gems right now. I haven't had enough to drink to process all of that. I just know I'm mad.
What's your A24 movie?
What's that?
What's your favorite A24 movie?
Lady Bird, because it's the best one. And The Farewell.
I haven't seen either of those yet.
Oh, so you haven't watched film yet? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just dipping my toes in. I got to start with the 100% tomato movies.
You have such an A24 vibe. I'm really digging it. When a girl tells you that, run away.
It depends on what 4 movies they've seen. Is it a Lighthouse vibe or is it a?
Okay, I actually do like the Lighthouse though. I'm not gonna lie, I do like the Lighthouse.
Me too.
I like the Lighthouse more than the Witch. I think the Witch gets worse for me the more I rewatch it, and I like Hereditary, but I don't like Midsummer.
Interesting. I didn't. Did you watch the director's cut?
I didn't. No.
Oh yeah. So I hadn't seen it at all, and my buddy did. That he saw it in theaters and didn't like it. But then I got the director's cut. It's like the collector's edition 4K or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And we watched that, and he actually like changed his whole opinion on the movie because they add like 25 minutes of stuff that like sets up like decisions that were made later in the movie.
Oh, I know Astor wanted to make it like a 4-hour movie if he could.
Shoot, I wouldn't mind watching it.
Oh,
It wasn't though, but But-
yeah, no, A24 is okay. You know, they put out a few good movies. You know, enough for me to like, you know, poke my head in and see if they're doing okay.
yeah, I went and saw The Green Knight a couple nights ago.
Oh, still haven't seen it.
It's interesting. That was my most anticipated movie this year. That and Suicide Squad.
Nice. Mine was
And-
Godzilla vs. King Kong.
Did you like that one?
Love it.
Oh, okay, that's good. That's
That and Zack Snyder's Justice League. You know, talk about A24 vibes. That's what A24 vibes wishes it was like. The Zack Snyder cut of Justice League.
I still need to check that out. The 4 hours is kind of scaring me.
But you'll watch a 4-hour cut of Midsummer? Dude, get the priorities straight. You're going to get laid watching Justice League. You won't watch with Midsummer. I mean, Ari Aster wrote the movie because he got dumped. I mean, what does that tell you?
Okay.
Everyone's listening right now, like with this blasphemy.
I'll do a double feature. It'll be like, you know, a day-long thing. Midsummer 4-hour cut and Justice League.
Make sure I pop in to see if you're doing okay when you do that, though.
You'll have plenty of time to pop in.
Oh no, this is great. I love this. Well, I think Noah, do you have anything else you'd like to talk about with Scary Movie 2? Do you want to convince anybody why they should give it a chance in 2021?
Shoot, I mean, if you like, I mean, I think every film fan should already know about these movies, and B, if they haven't, they should want to see them just because of how much, you know, references there are to stuff. And some of them are like kind of deep cuts. You know what I mean? Yeah, check them out. They're really good.
Yeah.
The first three. That's what I'll co-sign on.
Yeah. Stop acting cool and watching A24 films and get humble and watch Scary Movie 1 through 3. Pray.
Yeah.
But Noah, man, thank you so much for hopping in on the mic on this one. And just giving me another chance to, you know, let the people know why I love talking to you about movies. And yeah, I hope I get to get you on here again soon. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for having me, and I'm definitely down to join anytime you want.
Yes, sir. You heard that all right here. Noah is going to be back on. He's promised. Hopefully not this long of an absence though.
Oh yeah, hopefully sooner.
Yeah.
Sooner than a year difference almost.
Yeah, seriously. But man, thank you so much. And if you like this episode, and I definitely recommend you listen to our first episode where we talked about Gremlins 2. Noah, where can people find you if they want to connect?
Over on Twitter and Letterboxd. I'm Shrek Squirt. No spaces, no underscores, no numbers, just Shrek Squirt.
And follow him on Letterboxd.
Oh yeah, for sure. I need to start reviewing movies more on there. I kind of got to wait.
Write a review of an A24 film.
What's that?
Write a review of an A24 film.
Okay, I can do that.
Yeah.
I'll write an essay on Uncut Gems for you.
Please do.
It'll start Dear Chris.
This is my 13th reason why. But thank you, Noah, so much for being on, man. And thank you all for listening on this episode of Inside the Sequel. I'd like to say thank you. And remember, if you want to follow us, we are on Twitter at Hertastic_Chris is where you can find me personally to find me post drunk pictures of myself in public. And then you can follow the podcast at Inside Sequel, or at SequelPod, on Twitter. And then don't forget to email the show at sequelpod@gmail.com for your requests to be on the show or what episode you'd like to hear. But other than that, thank you all for listening. My name is Chris, and remember, if you aren't watching the 2001 hit classic, that comedy classic that is Scary Movie 2, do you really care about cinema? Anyway, we'll see you next time.